Good morning, Oracles. Oracle Tim here. Well, we had a very nice day yesterday for Tesla. The indices were all red, but Tesla was up almost 2%. We did get some good news out of Shanghai. They are reopening. Looks like they have started one shift of production. That shift is actually sleeping on site to stay there, and they're sleeping there, bathing there. They're basically staying there in the factory to get production going. So it's probably, based on the news that we had got, going to take until May at some point to get back to the point of ramp where they were before the shutdown, but we at least have started that ball rolling again. Now, speaking of production, we also got word from Automobilwoche about production over in Berlin. And it looks like currently they are running about 350 vehicles per week. So 350 vehicles per week right now, and by the end of the month, they should be at about 1,000 vehicles per week. Now, they did state that they're looking to have 30,000 vehicles produced by the end of the year. Just doing rough math, that doesn't really make sense because there's 32 weeks left in the year come the end of this month. So that at that point will be a minimum of 32,000. Elon did state that they were looking for ramp pace to be between 5,000 and 10,000 vehicles per week by the end of the year. And Troy Teslak did comment on Twitter stating that this article is wrong. And again, doing rough math, 30,000 doesn't make sense for the end of the year. So I think 1,000 by the end of this month per week is a good rate to look at, but they're going to continue ramping from there as far as I can see. They did state also that they are going to have a 3-week shutdown in the fall to switch over batteries. So that tells me that they're planning on fall being the 4680 switchover point, and they'll start adding them in at that point. Hopefully we'll get more clarity on the earnings call. And so if that is the ramp pace for Berlin, I'm curious if Austin is going to be about the same, because we know that Berlin had been working on production in Q4 of last year, but Elon said that Austin was also working on production in Q4 of last year. So I'm really curious as to the speed of it, and we know that coming out of Austin, we're looking at the structural 4680 packs, so we need to know the 4680 ramp pace. I don't know if they're going to be using 2170s there as well. There's a lot of information we do not have out of Austin. Hopefully we find out this information tomorrow on the earnings call, because it's really curious as to what their speed is going to be, because I also don't know, and I've got to look into it, what the layout is. Elon was touting the layout of the Austin factory and how it basically looks like a computer chip, and materials come in one side and a car comes out the other. I don't know if the layout in Berlin is the same as Austin. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. I just haven't had a chance to research that yet to see if I could see a floor plan of Berlin. But that seems like Austin might actually ramp faster than Berlin if that is the case, and they are laid out differently. Again, lots of information we don't know. We obviously saw Q1, the production and delivery numbers were actually doing very, very well, not much affected by the supply chain so much as it was with just Shanghai being shut down for an extended period of time. So we know we're going to see that in the Q2 earnings. We also did get news that Tesla insurance is opening up in 3 new states, Oregon, Virginia, and Colorado. So that now makes it 8 states that carry Tesla insurance. We've already seen awesome stories from people sharing how they were paying $550 in insurance, and Tesla dropped it down to $159. So this is phenomenal news, great for Tesla customers being able to drop down their insurance rates. So that's great for the customers and great for Tesla to bring in some more revenue. And so looking at how the stock is trading, we have been consolidating nicely right around that $1,000 mark. So we'll see how the things trade today. We have been affected by the macro environment, but most of the macro environment news that we are getting now that we've gotten the CPI data last week, we're kind of in limbo. We're kind of in a place where unless something comes out of Ukraine and Russia that is surprising, we do have the Fed speaking 4 times this week. So unless one of them comes out with something completely out of the blue that's different than what we already knew, I think we might see a basically flat macro environment. Checking volumes, we are still very low, only 17 million shares traded hands yesterday. for Tesla. So it's not a lot that is going on right now. So it's very similar to what we had seen back in February, where it's just like almost seems like people are holding their breath, waiting to see what's going to happen before they put money in. This does happen quite a bit right before earnings. I'm one that when it comes to earnings, I'm just going to let them go. I don't like to gamble when it comes to earnings. We have seen time and time again, a stock comes out with amazing earnings and it sells off. Or we have seen a stock come in with crappy earnings and then all of a sudden it skyrockets for no reason. So it is so up in the air and manipulated by the market. I don't like to play it. So the way I usually play an earnings call, if I'm going to do it at all, is if I see a stock has good earnings and they sell off afterwards, that is a buying signal for me. So good companies selling off after earnings, I will buy. So I will end up doing the same with Tesla. Obviously, I dollar cost average every single day. But if we do get a sell-off after earnings tomorrow, I'm going to be buying heavier on that news. We are anticipating potential news from a split coming out of this, dates for the annual meeting, so we can at least get dates for when the split may happen. That could lead to some euphoria and excitement. But still, you never know what's going to happen coming out of an earnings call. And for the earnings, I'm actually leaving work early so that I could really dive into the numbers before the call happens. So I don't know if I'm going to have a video out before the call or if I'll probably wait for the call and then do a video afterwards to recap everything. I may do both. I'm not sure. It really depends on the timing of it all. But I'm really curious. I don't know if Elon's going to be on this call. Last year, he had said that he's not going to be on earnings calls unless there is some major information to share, which he did do for the Q4 earnings call. He hasn't made any tweets that I have seen, at least, about whether he's going to be on the call tomorrow or not. So I'm going to assume he will not be on the call. We shall see. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you think he will be on the call or not. And I know a lot of you are on one side or the other. Some of you would prefer he's not on the call, and some of you would like him to be on the call. Me personally, I like when Elon speaks. I would love for him to be on the call, but I do understand how everyone else feels who doesn't like it, because a lot of times Wall Street doesn't like when Elon speaks. So when he speaks, and you can see it as the stock trades during the call, it sells off. And then when he's not talking, it comes back up. Wall Street likes to talk about the financials. Elon likes to talk about the future potential of the company and the projects that he's working on. So, it's to each their own, and there's nothing wrong with either one. Either way, I think we can all agree that we love to see where the stock is going in the future, and we all see it going to the moon. And so, in the short term, if Elon speaks and it comes down, so be it for me. And so, seeing as how we have been consolidating nicely around that $1,000 mark, we are priming ourselves for either a breakout or a breakdown. And I think that might be happening at the earnings call. So this tells me that, based on the low volume that we probably have a lot of people sitting on the sidelines waiting to see how earnings call goes, and we could potentially see a lot of that money get dumped into the stock after the call. Again, we still have yet to see what's going on. Anything can happen. That's just why I don't get into it until after the stock has its earnings call. So we'll see how everything plays out tomorrow. Let me know in the comments below, which way do you think the stock is going to move during the earnings call? Do you think we're going to see that breakout, or do you think we are going to see a breakdown? Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. Thank you so much. Have a great one.